Welcome back to the last session of Introduction to LD. It's been a long journey. I've appreciated that you've taken the time to go through it with us. I hope it's been helpful to you. If it has, I would really encourage you. Drop us a note using the contact form on our website, contendacademy.com. Again, I'm really appreciative that you've gone through this with us, and I hope it's been helpful. In this last session, we're going to talk about how to respond to arguments. Here's the thing. This is something that we'll really get into in the next course. The way I sort of like to sketch out the development of a debater, if you will, is that their first year is mostly about getting cases down. In the first year, you'll really work hard on getting your cases down and things that you learn in regards to rebuttals, how to respond to arguments, it's not going to be as helpful. So the first year is all about case construction. And then in the second, third, and fourth years, you start getting into, okay, how do I really respond to arguments well? But I'm going to give you enough to take you through your first year, at least. I've attached a flowchart on this session that walks you through how to respond to any given argument, gives you the questions to ask and what to do, depending on your answer to those questions. Look that up, study it, really try to memorize it, get it basically in part of your thinking, where you don't even have to think about the flowchart anymore. It just becomes part of how you approach arguments. That'll put you miles ahead of the competition. Here are the most important principles to keep in mind. First, try to agree. Never argue something you don't have to. A lot of arguments you can agree with, and you should almost always do that. Second, tie it back to your case. Most debaters think of responding to arguments like this, and this, if you learn this, this will be, I think, the most important thing about responding to arguments that you'll learn in your first year. Most debaters think of responding to arguments like this. They said this, I have to say this. The truth is, you can normally just take an argument and show how you already responded to it in your case. In other words, you don't say, they said this, and I must say the opposite. You can just say, they said this, but I've already talked about that in my case. Always do that if you can. Third, don't make a new argument if you don't have to. If you have to make a new argument that you haven't made in your case, do it quickly. You will almost never win a round based on an argument that you didn't make in your case. Again, we'll get way more into this in the next course. The most important thing the first year is case construction, and what I've given you, those principles just now, I think will get you through this year, especially when you add the flowchart to that. That's really all the content for Introduction to LD, but if you'll let me, I want to say a few words, something that I wish someone had told me. If you're in the NCFCA, if you're in STOA, your first tournament is probably coming up. And at this point, you're probably pretty scared. And here's the thing, brutal honesty. Some of you who are watching this video will do phenomenally in your debate career. You will do amazing. You will win tournaments and win accolades. You'll do amazing. And some of you will do really bad. Some people, debate just isn't their thing. And here's what I wish someone had told me. Remember that your place in debate has nothing to do with who you are. The person that you are is a child of the King. You're loved. You are deeply and forever loved by a God who, at the end of the day, doesn't care whether you win the tournament. He doesn't care whether you messed up in a round. See, because if you don't start there, if you do really well, it'll go to your head. And if you do really badly, it'll go to your heart. If you do really well, it'll go to your head, and you'll walk around like I did. I did well, and it went to my head. And I thought I was the greatest thing on the planet. Or if you do really poorly, and I saw this happen all the time, it'll go to your heart. And you'll think, I can't speak, I can't communicate, and it'll destroy you. Unless you start by realizing you are not your trophies. You are a redeemed sinner. Let that be your driving principle. Let that be the core of your time in speech and debate.